Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Be Live. And today I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, longtime artist, musician, martial artist, film producer, my good friend, Mr. Jason Hammel. How you doing, sir?
Hey man, how are you? It's great to see you again.
Good, likewise,
Yeah,
likewise. Long time no speak.
yeah.
Um, so for tonight, we're basically going to pick Jason's mind. He has a lot of history and a lot of different industries. So we're going to try to pick his mind as much as possible. Just like every other show, we're going to ask him five questions, more personal or more professional, and then we're going to ask him the 5 second questions that are going to be more personal and related to his preference. Okay, so we're not going to take up too much of your time, Jay. But I wanted to make sure that I got you before you went on tour.
Yeah. Whatever you need. Yeah.
All right. So, right off the bat, we're going to start with just a general question. Where did you grow up? So, for most of the audience that don't know, where did you grow up as a child?
So I actually grew up in a very small town in southern Minnesota. It was about 4,000 people at the time that I was there. And I have an older brother and two younger sisters.
Okay.
And, we grew up kind of really about 5 or 6 miles from the city of Rochester, which
Okay.
had like the Mayo Clinic and IBM was there, had a headquarters there. So they had some industry there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody from my town kind of worked there. And then we
Okay.
were about an hour and a half from Minneapolis. So even though it was a small town and I like sort of like rubbed elbows with like farm kids and that sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it was sort of we still had access to like
To like
city.
the city, yeah, that's always good to me. I always liked, even when me growing up, I grew up in Stratford, so Connecticut now. But being close to the city, but not living in the city, gives you your benefits too. So you can like go there and then come back and get away from all the craziness. So did you like that growing up, like being that close, or did you were more like a rural person?
I loved it. In hindsight, I really loved it because I had really close friends, like tight knit friends, and then like
Mm.
it wasn't so clicky because it's like you couldn't have like, oh, there was so many people to like play on the sports teams, and then like you had
Hmm.
so many people to like be in the band. It's like no, we needed like people to be in the band and playing
Yeah, that's
sports.
what Steve.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
so you could do that without it being like a problem socially, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
And all of
Yeah.
my friends kind of the same thing. Like I'm still tight with like quite a few of those folks back from that small town, and just
Hmm.
like having that really close knit community. I really enjoyed it, but I also am glad that we had access to larger cultural centers for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always good with that kind of concept to get that balance because a lot of people, I think, even you tend to like find your group, and you'll be like, if you're a jock, you don't want to be too nerdy, and then if you're a nerd, you don't want to be too jock, or So I remember like growing up, it was like I was like kind of in the middle. I played sports, but I liked all the anime and drawing and things like that. So I like to find that balance. So it's cool that you got both of those growing up. We're very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And it was like there was
Mhm.
nothing that I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's some stuff that doesn't interest me, but I was always like, very curious,
Yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah.
seeker. So I was like, yeah, what is that about? And what's that about? It's totally different, but what is it about? And you could
Hmm.
do that comfortably in a small town where you wouldn't
Yeah,
be like ostracized. I thought
yeah.
like,
You're
I thought
weird or
you were
something.
like a rocker, dude. You can't be like on the
Yeah,
football team too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, going to the second question, for those who don't know, you're a very talented musician, and then we have some history together. We've acted together in film, you did some theater and things like that. How did you get into music and then filmmaking as well?
So, music was always in me since I was a kid. My
Hmm.
mom put me in piano lessons when I was very young. I think first grade. How old are you then?
Okay.
6, 7 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was kind of my first instrument. I didn't love the lessons and that sort of thing,
Hmm.
but I liked music, and so I was always seeking out music, like buying records and cassette tapes and stuff at the time, and then once I got to fifth grade, my mom allowed me to start drum lessons.
Okay.
So in the school band. So
Hmm.
and then also take like outside private lessons like to learn the drum kit.
Yep.
So and my dad as well. So I started doing that. And I always kind of had in the back of my mind that I was going to start a band when I got to high school, and with my friends, even though like I didn't really, none of my friends like played instruments, and I was like playing the piano or whatever, but I was so into rock music.
Yeah.
And then so when I was in eighth grade, I started my first band with my friends, and we would just like come over because I had the drum set, and we would just like bash away on like punk rock covers and that sort of thing. Um, and then, a really good friend of mine, who's still a good friend of mine, we were both in the band together playing drums, and we were both equally into music. And we're like, oh man, this is a problem. We want to start a band, but we're just two drummers. Like,
Yeah, you need other, you need a couple other instruments. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, well, you're a better drummer than me. I'll start playing bass. So then I just
Okay.
took the school bass home, and I started playing bass and like writing songs on bass. And he was a drummer, and we just went out to his house. He lived out like rural on a farm basically, and he had a drum set, and his mom and dad would let us just like bash away in the basement.
Yeah.
So we started our first kind of real band. I think that was like a junior year, and where we started writing our own original songs, and really kind of, playing out shows and that sort of thing.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess I can sort of tell you the trajectory then how it became sort of a profession for us for quite a while. I went to college, all the while still being in bands. I started some bands in college, and then started running up against the music community there. And my wife now, Kori, also was in a band, and we had mutual friends. And we would all like see each other's bands plays, and sometimes our bands even played, but we didn't really talk. And then one night I saw her playing like a solo show, like acoustic show, and I was like, wait, who's that?
Who's that?
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. So I went
Hold
up. Yeah, I was like, whoa. Stop the clock.
Yeah.
And, I went up and talked to her, and I was just like, basically professed my love for her, and she was
Let's
like,
go.
yeah. I was like, hey, what's up? I'm like, I think I love you. And she's like, yeah, call me. And so
That's it. That's it.
so we started
Story.
we started dating. We kind of got to know each other over the next couple of months, just like via like instant messenger through the university system.
Yeah.
And then we just essentially like started dating for real.
Yep.
And then we knew about the music thing. We knew we both played music, but the relationship was going so well that we were sort of like, I don't know if
we want to like combine it. Yeah.
and if we don't have the chemistry musically, like maybe it'll mess up the relationship. So we were a little timid to do it. But then when we did, we were both playing guitar at the time, and we went up to this rehearsal space that we rented, and each took out our guitars, and they were like the same guitar, like matching complementaries, and we're just like, oh, that's kind of weird. and then we started playing, and it instantly just like clicked. The musical like chemistry was there. So we started a band, kind of more of a rock band, initially with like a different drummer and a bass player. And then when we were graduating college, we were moving to San Francisco together. We had decided like, we're going to be together after undergrad. We're going to move to California. So we did, and then we sort of started this other little side band, which ended up becoming Mates Estate.
Let's go.
And she played the keyboards, and I was like, well, I used to play the drums. I'm gonna sit behind the drums. So we started playing and like writing these like little kind of weird songs. And then we're like, oh, that kind of sounds like a real song. It's kind of weird instrumentation, and we're both singing, like learning how to do harmonies together. Like I didn't really know how to do harmonies at all. So she kind of taught me. I was more of just like a punk rock, like screaming into the microphone kind of singer, and she sort of taught me how to do harmony and like play. And so we started writing like more of like indie rock songs. And when we moved to California, that kind of took off. We started meeting a really great music community out in San Francisco, and touring up and down the West Coast while we were doing our jobs. She was a teacher. She got a job as a teacher, like a second grade teacher.
Yeah.
And I was applying to medical school and working in a women's cancer center, but we didn't know anybody when we first moved out there. So like after work every day, we would just play music for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And so we wrote our first record and released it with like a local California label, and it started to get some interest. And we were just like touring a bunch for like 3 years up and down the West Coast. And then we decided like, hey, let's get married. And this was like 2001. We're like, let's get married. Let's like quit our jobs, get married, and go on tour for 1 year. Just
see what happens. Yeah.
And see what happens. And so we did that and toured 9 months out of that 12. We were on the road for 9 months in that first year, just the two of us in like a little SUV. And and we came back and we're like, oh, we had like actually made some money because it was like all going into one pot, you know.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
we
yeah,
weren't splitting money at all. And even if you make like $150 a night and you're sleeping on like people's floors, it's like you're not really spending
Spending any money, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we're like, oh, let's do another year, and then it just kept growing and growing. Before we knew it, we were just like, we bought a house, and then we moved back to Connecticut, and we bought a house, and we had some kids, and like just kept touring and making records, and did that professionally for like 15 or 16 years.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
that, like full time.
A lot of the stuff when I first met you, you know, me and Kori trained in martial arts, and she was like, my husband does Kyokushin and blah blah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. She was like, you probably guys would get along. You're like, you're actors and blah blah. The next thing I see you in the movie, you know, and we're doing films together, and then we started talking all the time and meeting up, doing some plays and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, for you being an artist and obviously having Kori, you know, push you guys and work together. How is that, and you know, just being mates of state? How much of a challenge was that when you guys were having a family and then you were trying to plan like the touring aspects of it? Like, where was it? Did you ever run into any issues with like the development of the group? Because now it's like what, like you said, almost like 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like even with that particular thing, obviously from the artist standpoint, we know that it's more complicated for artists to actually create a career. You guys were successful. So for like musicians that want to do that, how do you propel it and how do you sustain it?
It's a very good question because I definitely don't know, like especially nowadays, how you would make a career out of music. I just know like what we did,
Yeah.
and talk about that. And the biggest thing was, you know, we were always partners, you know, and not just like romantic partners, but like life partners, and like we
Yeah.
would divvy up like all of the tasks all of the time, you know. And so like, oh yeah, and so when we had kids, we're like, well, we want to, things are going pretty well, but we want to have kids at a certain time. We don't want to like miss our chance to have kids, or like, let's just have a kid, but like, let's map it out, and say like, okay, so let's finish a record. Let's try to get pregnant, and then like finish the record while you're pregnant, and then we'll take off 4 months to like, or not even, man, when I think about it, it's crazy. So like, I think we took our first daughter out on tour when she was like 6 or 7 weeks old.
Okay.
Because like we had had the baby and the record was ready and the tour was booked. So we're like, all right. So we would just like, and so we're like, we had to figure out a way to keep the baby close to us all the time, right? So for us, it was like, let's rent an RV that has like a bedroom in the back, so that it's like you have like a moving bedroom with us no matter where we are. So, you know, there was some advantages, but also some real disadvantages, because like an RV is not supposed to be like, it's not made to like drive behind a tour bus. It's not comfortable. It's like the shades are rattling all night and you can't sleep, and it's like pots and pans are bouncing off the kitchen counter and that sort of thing. But we just like, we're like, well, this is less than ideal, but we are getting to the next show, and our baby's here and close to us. And we'd always hire like family or really close friends to kind of help and be like the nanny or the babysitter for the little one. So it was like somebody we really trusted, and then just also being understanding of like, oh yeah, like haven't slept in a long time, or this is really grueling, I need a break, can you take the baby, like blah blah blah, and just like really trying to like be helpful to one another under those cases. So
I mean, that's a big deal, right? When you're working as a team and you have children, I think ultimately it's like you go from the stage of just being an independent artist to now you're like a family. So now you got the father aspect of it, you know, well, husband, father, and then you have the element of like now it's starting to transition into like, it's a profession that's going to help my family. So now I have to take it even more serious, right? So like, even when you're talking about with projects, I know that you have something that's coming up now recently. What is the next project for you guys from Mates Estate?
So we actually just finished last week. We did 5 shows of the Northeast. And we've been, we sort of took a break. So we have two older daughters, 21 and 18, and then we have an 8-year-old as well. So when the older two were young, basically from birth until like 10 years old, we just toured constantly.
Yeah.
And then when they got to be like, 12, 13 years old and they start to get school roots and foundations, they can't be pulled out of school as much. So we started to try to figure out ways. So we would tour a little bit in smaller sections rather than going out for like 6 or 9 weeks. We'd go for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time and come back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I lost the question. What was, what's next?
Yeah, like what's next?
Okay.
Like your newest project.
So we sort of, that tailored the touring back, and now that the older two are essentially like both in college now, or the middle one's heading to college, we realized like, oh, we can tour. So like last summer we toured, we did a 3-week tour, and then we had the older two girls essentially be our crew. They like sold the merchandise and like
that's right.
Tour manage and like all of that. And you know what?
Right.
It was such a fun tour. It was like a family vacation, but we were like working and like playing art, and like they got to see it from a different perspective as older girls rather than like little. They were just like, what are we doing? And now we're like, oh, well, you guys have been doing art for a long time, and it's kind of cool because like there's a certain number of people that actually care about what you do, And so it was really fun. And then so we just been touring now. Like we toured just in the West Coast. We did like 12 dates here in October, and then we just did 5 dates last week of the Northeast. So now we determined like, oh, maybe we should. Oh, well, there is a little bit of a sidebar because I'm getting a master's degree right now too.
Let's go, Jay.
Yeah. So I did psych and like pre-med back in the day, so I have that background, and currently I'm still in the video world. I'm a post producer for like an advertising company.
Yep.
And so I got that job, and I realized like, oh, it's the corporate world. It's different than what I had been doing for the last 15, 20 years in the like arts and humanities basically. And I was like, I think I want to eventually get back to that. So I was like trying to determine a way that would be interesting to me. And I've been thinking about it for 4 or 5 years. And I was like, I think I'm going to become a clinical therapist. There you go. So I'm now getting I'm getting my master's degree, and I'm already halfway through it. So in the spring of 2027, I'll have a master's, and then I can essentially like open my own practice.
Let's go.
And be like a therapist. But that does relate to your question. In that, once I finished school, we were thinking about having another record fully done, recorded by then.
Okay.
And then taking that year off and going on tour for an entire year, basically, again. Because
so like, you have time.
Phoebe's still little. We'll have a new record to promote and like bring to the people, and we'll have the time, frankly, too. So that's kind of on the horizon, I think, maybe another Made to State record and full on like year touring and pushing it, bringing it to the people.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, obviously, we're both artists, and I think that from an artist perspective, I always root for other artists to be successful because, as you know, it's very, very complicated and sometimes even difficult to actually, sustain a living with your art. And typically, a lot of times, you don't really understand it until you've experienced that environment. But I like to think, as you said, you're getting your master's. 5 years from now, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
What a question. I mean, if I look back 5 years and was able to tell myself this is where I'd be in 5 years, I would probably be way off the mark. I don't know. I've been thinking about. I'm about to turn 50 in a week. So I've been thinking.
Happy
about
birthday
it.
early. In case I don't talk to you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it though, and it's like meeting people like you. Like we had a kind of an instant connection. I think it's because the art, and I guess it kind of relates to your question of like how do you make money and that sort of thing. And it's like you don't really think about that part. You think about just like doing the art because you love meeting other artists, you love working with them, collaborating. Like when you used to come and we would work on that play, like that was, there was like nothing else that mattered, and we would just like grind out these lines and like figure it out, and then like going to make some of those films and stuff too, like with Jimmy. It was like that was like so fun, and like to be able to do that the money aside, and then it doesn't really matter because we would do it anyways without
Yeah.
making the money,
Yeah.
and then when you can start making money on it, it's just like gravy. And then
It's
you're
even
like,
better.
okay, then let's like make more projects
Yeah.
like that. So let's like do more because we have more resources and we can hire our friends and hire bigger production, and that sort of thing. So I think really, in 5 years, I want to still be making art, music, acting, film, all that kind of stuff. I want to keep meeting new people and working with people such as yourself. And then I want to have, potentially like another sort of side thing that I do that I really enjoy, being a therapist or whatever, and something that I can do on my downtime that I still really enjoy and helps my family. And just kind of like incorporating it all. I don't think you need to pick and choose one thing. And I know sometimes it's hard to find that balance. I know I've found it hard to find that balance a million times over the course of my like career, and you're just like, oh, this isn't working. Now what? You know what I mean?
That's
And when
life.
it's not working, it's really frustrating and you can't see any of the light, you can't see where it's headed. But then there's the times where it is working, and you're like, oh, damn, this is working.
And all that other stuff matters because you wouldn't have got there if you didn't go through all that other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's like what you and I teach our kids. It's just like, yeah, sometimes it sucks.
Yeah,
But you just pick up and you keep grinding. And then you have those days that it's like, yeah, this is it. This is why we're going.
This is what it's for. Yep.
So
that's cool, man.
I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did. Yeah, you good. Like I said, there's so many things, and obviously, from an artistic standpoint, obviously, I would want to. We got to plan something. There's a couple of projects. My wife is working on a project as well, and when you brought up the producer thing, that's something that we're going to talk offline about because I think that would be a good idea. We could definitely do some other things, but that was the first 5 questions. That's more the professional end of the interview. The last 5 questions are just a preference question. Like I said before, we call them the shotgun questions. You can answer them as long as you want or as short as you want. So it's really up to you. But thank you so far. The interview's been great to pick your mind and see where you guys are, and many blessings and success in the next album and so on. I can't wait.
Oh, thank you, man. And
let me know when you're in the Boston area too, because I want to go.
Yeah, are you up in Boston right now?
We're about 20 minutes away.
Oh, we played in Boston Thursday.
Oh, see?
Thursday. Yeah, or Wednesday.
I gotta stay on. You played in Boston this week?
I blew it last week.
Last week. Yeah,
a week ago. Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be up here, so just let me know. I'll try to stay on top of your tour dates if you're gonna come back up.
For sure, man. And I know you and I are going to be working together on many projects in the future. Yeah.
All right. So this is, like I said, you can elaborate as much as you want. And I'm going to try to get some questions just of this or that type of thing. All right.
Okay.
First question: who is a better artist, Michael Jackson or Prince?
I mean, I'm from Minnesota. That's Prince. That's an easy one.
easy start.
We just watched the. I mean, would you agree?
I mean, I think overall, when I use that terminology, artist, I go for Prince. Performer, I go for Michael, because like Michael, I think there's not that many performers even come close, if any, since I've seen that. But Prince, artist-wise, the dude can pick up anything, do anything, sing, act. He's full package. So yeah, I would go with Prince.
Yeah, and I mean, Minnesota, he's my boy. We just watched the D'Angelo documentary last night. My friend kind of like ripped a copy of it for me. Have you seen that?
Okay. No.
I'll send it to you. Do you like D'Angelo?
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good?
Yeah.
That's cool. Next question. Better actor, Robert De Niro or Al Pacino?
Better actor. I'm gonna say Al Pacino.
Okay.
Only because of maybe Meet the Fuckers. The like I sometimes now I can't get the Robert De Niro like when he's crying,
Oh, okay,
the fake
okay.
crying. I can't get
Yeah,
that out of my
yeah,
head. It's just like I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's got. I think both of them have had so much of a range of a career that I
Yeah.
think now later on in his career, I think Robert De Niro does more like the comedy, like Meet the Fockers and stuff like that. Al Pacino
Yeah.
has kind of stayed more of like the drama. I
Yeah.
haven't seen him do so much comedy, so that's cool. I mean, either one is a win. I'm a De Niro fan, so
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to choose.
yeah.
But I would.
So Meet the Fockers. All right, transitioning into, everyone knows I love comics. I don't know if you're a big comic book fan, but I'm pretty sure you know the MCU and the DC universe in terms of like filmmaking and things like that. But as a comic book character, who is a better hero, Batman or Spider-Man?
I'm gonna go with Batman.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my guy. That's my favorite. That's my favorite comic book character ever. Is Batman.
Okay, good. I'm glad I got that one right for you.
That's my guy. All right, going into music, a better band, Rolling Stones or Kiss?
Rolling Stones. I I've been through small phases of Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
My friends, my cousin and one of my really best friends growing up were huge Kiss fans.
Yeah.
And so I heard their music a lot, and we saw the early movies and that sort of thing. And we played a festival once with Kiss. I think it might have been the Voodoo Festival in New Orleans.
Okay.
And they were getting like pictures done. They were in full glam makeup, and we were backstage, and just like it was like underneath the bleachers of this thing, of like where they had staged it, and I just could not believe how close we were to them. And I was just like, oh, my cousin would just be like, what? Like if I'd be like, I'd be able to stand next to them while they're doing a photo shoot when I'm 25, 30 years old. He'd be like, what? No way, dude.
Yeah.
So but I would still, musically, I would say the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Rolling Stones. So.
Yeah.
And then lastly, for those who don't know, I mentioned it before, but you're a martial artist, black belt. Who do you feel is a better martial artist? Jet Li or Donnie Yen?
Say Jet Li.
Jet Li?
Did I miss that one?
No. I think a lot of people. I remember Michael Jai White commenting, and he was saying like he breaks people down in terms of like a martial artist and then fighters. Like most martial artists don't say that they're great fighters because they typically don't fight all the time. Like a fighter, is like an MMA kind of guy. They're in the circuit. The fighters, not the people that practice.
They're like scrapping all the time.
Yeah, you're
like
always
fighting.
like fighting. But like a martial artist, you can protect yourself, you train. But Jet Li is like at the epitome. He's won every award, studied all different styles. Same thing with Donnie Yen, but a lot of people, they don't consider them like fighters if they've ever gotten a fight. So it's always like a good comparison to kind of get an idea of who would be the better fighter if you ever got them outside of like the screen time or the arena where everything's kind of like protected and stuff.
Yeah, and like in Kyokushin, I don't know if it's similar for you. I know you.
Kyokushin is tough. That's a tough martial art. I mean, he said that. I was like, oh, he studies that? He's no joke.
Well, it's also, the first rule is we don't want to fight.
Yeah.
We're not looking to fight.
Yeah.
We're looking to avoid fights, and if we have to fight, like then get it over as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of like what I was taught, at least.
Yeah. That's what they do.
So that's I guess that's why to answer your question, it's like we're not out like fighting all the time. We are in the dojo just to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You're getting hit a lot, but but you're not like no rules in the streets kind of fighting or even MMA kind of stuff,
Yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. All right, bro.
Are you still training? Are you still training?
Yeah. I still train. I don't train at the same dojo anymore, but I studied. I got my my fourth degree at Wong's. I still studied Hapkido. I got my first degree at Wong's for Hapkido, and then My next transition, I'm going to go into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's a couple schools that are in the area that I'm going to take up there. But yeah, if I come through, I still do my Taekwondo and forms and stuff like that.
Oh, very good.
Try to stay as healthy as possible with that. As the body's getting older.
Yeah, exactly.
You?
I'll say it again. I'm not looking to fight you, man.
Do you still train?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for us with our dojo at Kyokushin, it's like you're always training.
Yeah.
You know, you go in and out. You know,
Yeah.
you have phases where you can't make it to the dojo because of life, but you're always a part of it, and you're coming back. That's how, you know, I've seen people. And right now, I'm just so busy. I haven't been into the dojo as much as I like.
Yeah.
But I'm all still in touch with
Still
them,
there.
and I will be back in the dojo very soon. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, like I said, I appreciate everything. All I ask is that for or what I pray for you and the family, safety, security, success. You're a great dude, down to earth guy. Like I said, Mesa State, your album, tour, anything that I can do to help, let me know. And where can people find you if they want to, you know, talk to you, pick your mind, promote and support?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the social media stuff. We're on there. You can find all our music on, you know, all of the platforms, for better or for worse. If they're paying artists or not, our music is still on there. Yeah, just like, and like, you know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. We're up there, and we're always happy to talk. That's been like, you know, we did these shows and people would come up and be like, been listening to you for 15 years and this is the first time I got to see you and that sort of thing. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. You're sticking with us, you know, that kind of thing. So
yeah, you got fans.
Yeah. So, but I appreciate your time, man. It's like I said, you and I, we kind of bonded right away. We connected. We have a lot of similar sensibilities, and I'm all my best to you too and your family, man.
Thank you so much. Like I said, we're gonna work on something. We gotta definitely make a plan to work on something this year, whether it be like a product, a song, or a film. Because there's a couple of things I want to run by you offline to kind of get an idea of where your mind would be at, and if that's something that you're interested in. So
Anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it would still be fun kind of to go back to where we started, is to do a play. Do like do a two-man play or something and put it up in New Haven at a little black box theater or something. That would be it. You know, that'd be so fun.
You gotta do it. That's it.
Yeah.
You already put it in the universe, so now it's on us. You gotta do it. All right, Jay. Like I said, keep in touch. Best of luck, and you know, all the further success. That's all I can say, bro.
I appreciate you, man.
All right.
That's good. All right.